Oh, hey there. I'm just here doing a little bit of reading about Japanese Americans here in the San Luis Obispo area. During my research for this project, I read a whole bunch of newspaper articles about Paul Kurokawa, and when I was reading these, he seemed like a really important figure, but it was kind of just like history to me. It didn't really hit me at a personal level until I interviewed his daughter, Dawn Kurokawa, Kamiya, and she really brought these stories to life. And it kind of gave me a whole new perspective on everything, and for that experience, I thank you, Don.
I talked to Mitsu Ikeda and Roy Nakai during the interview, or during the recollection project, and hearing their stories, it was pretty life-changing for me. It was like good to hear someone else's experiences, because I never knew anything about the internment camps. Hearing Mitzi, how she was fortunate enough to not have her father put in a different camp as her, and her growing up with her father still during that hard time. It was good to know that she endured it all and then went off to continue on her future in her life. Overall, I really liked the whole experience. It was great. I want people to actually hear other stories and not have the stories go unwasted.
For Rico Project, one of the Japanese Americans I got to interview was Roy Nakai. It was really interesting talking to him because I got to learn about the other side of the Japanese American story from the internment camps. Back in school and everything, I only learned about what the textbook had to say about the internment camps. Talking to Roy, I got to hear the other side of the story. And although Roy was only a little kid back in the internment camps, he still remembered a lot. He told me it really wasn't that bad for him because he was a child, but for his parents, it was actually a pretty bad experience. Talking to Roy, I kind of felt his emotions when talking about his parents, going through the rough patches from basically losing everything and living in a small camp. Overall, it was a really good experience talking to Roy, and I wish to do it again.
I wrote a spoken word piece dedicated to all the Japanese Americans who were willing to share their story with us, and I also dedicated to every other Japanese Americans who've dealt with all the injustices at the time. Miles of crops untouched for years, shelves and floors undusted. Family memories dwell within these trusted walls as their farms were left uncultivated, their identities humiliated, their once known acceptance in this nation faded, vanished into what were once clear vast skies, but into their decaying American dream along with the cries of, "I made it. I thought I made it." The beautiful horizon of an afternoon sunset replaced by the jagged edges of barbed wires. Hope battled a war against despair. A life displaying the true meaning of what's unfair. Tell them the story of how they shouted their pride and perseverance into the air. I once read that history shouldn't be told in terms of domination, but in terms of liberty. In terms of how the Japanese American people fought injustices with one simple method. Tolerance. Not the type of tolerance where their identity was deprived uncontested, but the type of tolerance where they stayed strong-willed to show they're still represented as Japanese Americans. Tolerance. Tolerance to know that their future is surely bright. Thank you.